Get ready for the action, because the Miami sprint was absolutely electric. Charles Leclerc unleashed his frustration after a fierce wheel-to-wheel battle with Kimi Antonelli, where the Monegasque driver felt forced into a defensive position under braking and voiced his disbelief over the move. We dive deep into the intense moments that define this clash between Ferrari and Mercedes in the heat of the race.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to hold it with one hand? The PopSocket's Pop Grip gives you a secure grip, works as a phone stand, and even lets you swap the top for a fresh new look. Simple, useful, and perfect for everyday phone use. Click the link in the comments to grab yours on Amazon.
The grid was set for chaos as Lando Norris blasted off from pole position to take the lead right out of the gate in the 2026 Miami GP sprint. But the race quickly turned into a battleground as Kimi Antonelli dramatically dropped from second on the grid down to P4 as Oscar Piastri, and Charles Leclerc managed to navigate past him. Find out exactly how this dramatic shift in the order unfolded during the opening laps. Meanwhile, Oscar Piastri is buzzing after the sprint, having secured a strong 1-2 finish for McLaren, but he's not done yet. The Australian is now incredibly excited and ready to go for qualifying after being closely chased to the flag by Charles Leclerc in that intense sprint session. We break down Piastri's mindset and what this means for his future performance. And finally, the fallout from that heated exchange. Charles Leclerc has issued an apology following his radio message to Kimi Antonelli after the tense Miami sprint battle, admitting that his message came across as too harsh. Don't miss the full story on the tension, the apologies, and what this means for the relationship between these two drivers. Stay with us right now for all the latest racing news. The Miami sprint race saw an intense on-track battle between Charles Leclerc of Scuderia Ferrari and Mercedes rookie Kimi Antonelli, characterized by a tense wheel-to-wheel exchange that pushed both drivers to their limits. The confrontation peaked during a critical braking sequence where Leclerc felt pressured into a defensive position as Antonelli attempted to challenge for track position. Immediately following the maneuver, Leclerc expressed significant frustration over the situation via the team radio, stating, "Kimi is so bad to wheel. He moved under braking. It's unbelievable we are going to crash." The tension continued as both cars approached turn 11, a pivotal overtaking zone at the Miami circuit. Leclerc, despite carrying considerable speed into the corner, ran slightly deep, which ultimately denied him the opportunity to complete the pass and allowed him to retain his position. Although the two vehicles managed to avoid physical contact, the proximity between them was extremely narrow, underscoring the razor-thin margins in modern Formula One racing. This incident highlighted the burgeoning competitiveness of Kimi Antonelli, who is demonstrating growing confidence in close-quarters racing. Conversely, his handling under braking drew scrutiny, especially when competing against seasoned drivers like Leclerc. For Ferrari, the duel served as a reminder of the necessity for strong defensive execution during sprint races, particularly on circuits like Miami, where success hinges on exit speed and straight-line performance. While the clash resulted in no damage or penalties, it injected fresh tension into the already eventful sprint, emphasizing how split-second decisions and minimal margins dictate the outcome of contemporary Formula One contests. The 2026 Miami Grand Prix sprint kicked off with a commanding lead from Lando Norris, who secured the top position off the line from pole position on lap 1. However, the race quickly saw significant movement in the midfield. Kimi Antonelli experienced a challenging start, dropping from second on the grid down to P4 as rivals Oscar Piastri and Charles Leclerc successfully overtook him early in the race. Sprint highlights also featured notable moments, including a dramatic sequence where Nico Hülkenberg had to make a fiery halt on his way to the grid. Furthermore, the qualifying session concluded with Lando Norris successfully crossing the line to claim pole position for the sprint, setting the stage for the competitive action that followed. Oscar Piastri is eagerly anticipating the upcoming qualifying session following a strong performance for McLaren in the recent Miami Grand Prix sprint. Piastri secured second place in the sprint, trailing his teammate Lando Norris by a narrow margin. The race saw intense action, highlighted by a chase for the flag from Charles Leclerc, which Piastri acknowledged, stating that the competition remains very tight. The sprint itself featured several notable moments, including a fiery halt from Hülkenberg as he headed to the grid and Antonelli's rise to P4 at the start. Looking ahead, the focus now shifts entirely to qualifying, where the pressure is on for the McLaren drivers to secure a top position. In a related update, Lando Norris successfully claimed pole position for the sprint qualifying session, marking a significant achievement for the team during the event. Formula One driver Charles Leclerc has issued an apology following a tense radio exchange with teammate Kimi Antonelli during a recent Miami sprint race. Leclerc expressed regret over what he described as being too harsh in his radio communication with Antonelli during the competitive battle. The incident occurred amidst a highly charged on-track situation, highlighting the intense pressure and communication dynamics inherent in close Formula One racing. The apology, reported by Motor Biscuit, suggests a mutual acknowledgement of the intensity of the on-track competition and the importance of maintaining positive rapport between teammates, even under pressure.